Mong sinisiguradong patas. Lagi mong inuuna kung anong dapat. Hindi mo kayang malunok ang katotohanang marami pa rin tayong kababayang gutom at walang tahanan. Kaya hindi ka tumigil sa paglaban. Harapin ang kahirapan. Tulungan ang nangangailangan. Basagin ang korupsyon na kanilang nakasanayan. Sa loob at labas, man ng Pinas, bakas na bakas ang iyong tapang puksain ang mga problema ng bansa. Gamit ang lakas, gamit ang isip, gamit ang puso. Kung para sa mamamayang Pilipino, si MP, wala yang sinisino. Manny Pacquiao.
Valoria goes left. Valoria flips it up and in! So Orland Lamar, but Lamar gets the step and the finish. Hail Mary. June Manzo will fire. Oh my goodness! June Manzo all the way from Serrano, Beguero, Serrano with the basket. Fuentes, no hesitation, gets the goal! No! Obisto, yeah! Jason Obisto with the putback!
Action continues in the second week of the Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League as the league makes its first stop at the Caloocan Sports Complex in the city of Caloocan as teams from both the North and the South Division battle it out today in our Tuesday triple header. JJ Caspe looking to lead the Imus Brotherhood to win number 2 today against a Batangas City squad that has Levy Hernandez back in the lineup after serving his one-game suspension in their first game against the Quezon Huskers. Later on at 6 o'clock p.m. we have the Marikina Shoemasters going up against the defending champion, the Pampanga Giant Lanterns. And in our main game, the Caloocan Batangas host the Mindoro Tamaraos at 8 o'clock p.m. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Javi Palanya, joined by Coach Mike Perez. Coach Mike, your assessment so far of the Imus Brotherhood in the 2 games that they've had, and ano pa ba ang kulang ng Batangas City? Obviously, that was a really bad loss in their season opener against the Quezon Huskers.
Well, I think ang Imus Brotherhood is going to get a lot of help today. You got CJ Alatica joining them as well as Luis Koga. I mean, the 3 guys that actually led them, Caspe, JV De La Cruz, as well as Kent Ariar, are really doing really well pagdating sa points, rebounds, and assists. Samantalang dito naman sa side ng Batangas, I felt it was just a roadblock. I mean, they got through a really determined Quezon Huskers, and with Levy back here in this game, I think this is going to be presenting a new, different type of Batangas team.
We also have the third member of our broadcast panel joining us at courtside, Ms. Lyra Punzalan. Lyra, good afternoon to you.
Yes, with a close fight against the Pampanga Giant Lanterns in their last game, nabanggit nga ni Coach Brit Roma of Imus that they're focusing on strong individual defense today and on each player's responsibility of getting the ball. As for Batangas Tanduayram Masters, their fight against Quezon in their last game is definitely a wake-up call for them to redeem themselves and be better. Sabi nga ni Coach Cholo, they're very much excited. At excited nga rin siya sa mga players because today, he said they're gonna get the redemption they deserve. Back to you.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. I also talked to Coach Cholo the last time out. Magpapag-usapan natin yan later on as the game progresses. Pero pag-usapan muna natin ng last game day results that happened yesterday at the Bataan People's Center. That was quite a triple header that happened up north yesterday. The Zamboanga Sikat winning against Sarangani in the first game. Quezon winning against the Cebu Classic, and the Jensen Warriors gutting it out against the Bataan Risers.
Oh boy, did they gut it out against the Bataan Risers. That was a tough game last night, yung Basilan versus Bataan. Jensen ng Bataan.
Alright, patingnan natin ang ating team standings. Dahil nga parehong South Division teams ang maglalaban sa ating first game, let's take a look at the team standings in the Southern Division.
Well, sa Southern Division, you know, Imus Brotherhood and Mindoro Tamaraos as well, Batangas gonna show action today. But those win of Zamboanga, Quezon Huskers, and Jensen Warriors enough to get them in the share with the lead with Rizal in the South Division.
Imus, they lost their last game after a surprise win in their first game against the Mindoro Tamaraos in Pangasinan. And their last game, they went up against the Pampanga Giant Lanterns against a retooled Pampanga squad. They only lost by 5 points, but they had their struggles in this game as well.
Agree. And tama ka naman doon, no? They trailed by just 2 points after the first quarter. It really was just ultimately falling short after a meltdown in the fourth quarter. Talagang JJ Caspe, Kent Ariar, and JV De La Cruz scoring 19, 16, and 15 respectively. It really was just Batangas having a better ball distribution, resulting in better field goals for the Giant Lanterns, which meant lesser paint points para dito sa Imus. Board control was tough, and that was not enough help for Imus coming off the bench.
Well, you talk about help. Those guys that you mentioned, they need a lot more help para dito sa Imus Brotherhood if they're gonna win more games. Let's talk about the last game of the Batangas City Tanduay Rum Masters. That was a big upset on their home floor against the Quezon Huskers, their rival from last season's Southern Division Finals. And we expected a tight game, but hindi yun yung nakita natin. Batangas really struggled to put points on the board in that game. That was a really low-scoring game para sa kanila, only mustering 40 points sa laro na yun.
Agree. And when you talk about Batangas scoring just on the 40-point level, that's pretty low. Kasi last season, roughly high 70s yung average na. So, very uncharacteristic. I mean, you don't have any Rum Master scoring in double digits points. Ambuluto had 9, Panyamugan had 8, Ablasa on a 2 of 7 shooting only had 6. Baloria is also 2 out of 7. Basically missing scoring that their pace, energy, shot making, that was the problem. And see those double-digit disadvantage when it comes to points in the paints as well as the bench points. They really did not get enough help from everyone coming off the bench.
And yung bench points, yan pa naman ang isang departamento kung saan mataas usually ang pinapuntos ng Batangas City Tanduay Rum Masters. Coach Solo Villanueva, as Lyra mentioned in her report earlier at the top of our coverage, is looking to get the redemption that they deserve today against the Imus Brotherhood. Ang tanong, ready ba ang Imus Brotherhood? Well, we're about to find out in just a bit. Let's go to Richard Tampos for the start of this game.
A pleasant afternoon. It's great to see you again here at the Caloocan Sports Complex for the 2025 Manny Pacquiao's MPBL Season 7. Today's first match is between Imus and Batangas. Let's now meet the starting lineups. First off, for Imus Brotherhood. At guard number 5, Jed Ong. Playing center number 14, Ray Acuno. At forward number 17, Kent Ariar. Starting at forward number 24, Mark Doligon. And at two guard number 21, JV De La Cruz. They will be led by Brit Ray Roma, assisted by Mike Orquillas and Abelard Macarayan. The team manager, TJ Marquez. Team owner, Ruby Navarro. Now for inaugural season champion, Batangas City Tanduay Ram Masters. At guard number 7, O'Neil Arim. Point guard number 13, MJ De La Virgen. At forward number 15, Don Ochea. Playing center number 43, Dexter Apinan. Power forward number 53, Ced Ablaza. The head coach is Cholo Villanueva. His assistants are J.R. Aquino, John Arenas, Warren Capitan, and Dino Enrile. Team manager, Gene Alabanza. Team owner, Lucio Tan III. Referees for this ball game are crew chief, Jonald Belnas, with Jackson Mapandos and Alfea Maronilla. Fourth man is Richard De La Cruz.
Our starters for this game, our starting 5 brought to you by 1xBet, title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. Jed Ong, JV De La Cruz, Ray Acuno, Mark Doligon, and Kent Ariar starting for the Imus Brotherhood. For the Rum Masters, it's going to be MJ De La Virgen, O'Neil Arim, Dexter Apinan, Ced Ablaza, and Don Ochea. Good afternoon once again to everybody watching on Facebook and on YouTube. This is Javi Palanya, joined by Coach Mike Perez. Miss Lyra Podzalan is at courtside, the first game of your Tuesday triple header here at the Caloocan Sports Complex. First time the league is stopping over here this season. Of course, the Batangas will be hosting the Mindoro Tamaraws later on at 8 o'clock p.m. Imus winning the first tip. Doligon, he has been pretty much Mr. Do-It-All
Yes.
para sa Brotherhood this season. A big part why they won their first game against the Tamaraws. His long game brilliance was very important for them to be able to keep in step and finally snatch that victory.
That is right. And what you love about yung mga players nitong Imus, I mean, we talked about this, Caspe, JV De La Cruz, as well as Mark Doligon. Those guys contribute on the top 3 stat lines, points, rebounds, and assists. And nag-join pa si Quint Ariar in the last game. See this beautiful play right here. Quickly, you get Seth Ablasa involved, and that's very important. So he gets into a really good rhythm. A 2 out of 7 from Seth Ablasa is pretty much rare sighting para sa Tanduay Bar Masters.
Batangas actually led after the first quarter against
Right.
Quezon. So
Right.
the start wasn't really so bad para sa kanila.
Mhm.
It was really the next quarters that followed wherein the struggles really pulled them down.
Oh, yeah. Parang ano nga, yung first quarter na yun was really getting to know you again after seeing you in the division finals from the previous season. And now, let's see what changed. And then, soon as nakita ng Quezon kung ano yung nagbago, I'm sure Coach Cholo also saw it. Each team made adjustments, but it just so happened that Quezon was pretty much dominant and the shooting was not so well for Batangas in that game.
O'Neal Arim plugged into the starting lineup today along with MJ De La Virgen. Uses a screen from Jexter Apinan. Arim for 3. O'Neal Arim missing. A rebound to the Imus Brotherhood. Doligon gets the slip screen from Quint Ariar. Another screen from Raymark Acuno. Ariar rips through the middle. I think that's off a Batangas player. No, it is off an Imus.
And one thing that you notice about this initial set of defenses and the movements, Batangas really going on a switch everything. They feel they can take on anyone on the side of Imus. They switch.
Errant pass picked off by Jedong forward to JV De La Cruz. De La Cruz pulls up near the elbow. Malakas yan. Ochea sees Ablaza
free
trailing the play. Said Ablaza could not finish at the rim. Jexter Apinan, reverse finish is good.
So far, things going the way of how Batangas really plays. Apinan getting offensive rebounds. Ablaza going for those lane runners inside. Pretty much okay still if you're Batangas.
Apinan only had 5 points to show for in that game against Quezon. Doligon for 3. Off to the left. Rebound picked off by O'Neal Arim.
Still shots not falling here for Imus.
Meanwhile, O'Neal Arim called for a walk as he made that pass up top to Jex Apinan. No points on the board yet for the Brotherhood. 3 turnovers already in the game for Imus, while Batangas has a couple. And there's a foul called laban sa Batangas City. MJ De La Virgen will be the culprit. Almost 3 minutes gone by here in the first quarter.
And, you know, we talked about yung bench points not being there for Batangas in that previous loss to Quezon. Well, Levy coming off the bench should provide that needed production in that stat line.
Ray Acuno making his presence felt here early para sa Imus Brotherhood.
Yep.
That's one ex-PBA player on the roster.
Right. Big guy who's got range from outside.
Ablaza steps back, passes it to Apinan. Trying to split the defense of Ariar and Doligon to no avail.
Yeah, Apinan knew it, that, you know, immediately apologizing to the bench. He drew 2 defenders and still forced it. Could have passed it off to someone else who was free.
Acuno misses. Batangas City is on the run. O'Neal Arim, that's an easy finish para sa kanya.
So far, that fast break been executed very well. Good trap from behind, and Mark Doligon totally forgot he was getting into the trap area. You gotta see rear view mirror, and Onil Arin really just helping out there.
This was the previous play. Dexter Abinan dishing off to Onil Arim, who has already started his coaching career, by the way,
Oh yeah?
for the CEU Scorpions,
Oh, that's good.
assisting Coach Egay Macaraya in that program. Hindi mo pa naman napansin?
Hindi ko napansin.
Talaga?
I didn't notice that. Was he there?
He was there.
Okay, that's pretty good. Well, you know, si Onil Arim naman, laking Coach Cholo rin yan. So, sanay yan sa mga sistema. And you love players who transition to coaching, especially those who are really well-honed in terms of system-based basketball.
Ablaza, three-pointer from top
Oh,
of the
yeah.
circle. Nothing but bottom para kay Sed Ablaza.
Well, one thing you can't do, if it's a middle ball screen involving Sed Ablaza, you can't show up on that ball handler because definitely he's gonna slip and he's gonna knock down those shots.
6 points in the game, equaling his total from their last matchup against the Quezon Huskers. Itong si Sed Ablaza.
JP Valencian didn't have a good angle there on that post-up pass intended for Mark Doligo.
This three-point shot brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas.
Basic basketball right there. Draw two on the ball, find an open guy, a teammate on the other end.
Doligon, down low to JJ Caspe, spinning away from the defense. Hook shot won't drop. Batangas looking to extend this into double figures. Ablaza in trouble underneath. They kick it out to Arim. De La Virgen doesn't settle for the outside shot. The lob inside to Ochea. Ablaza free for three. Back irons that one. Brotherhood on the other side. Belenchon met by the defense of the Masters. Good transition D for Batangas City. Here's Belenchon. On to Mark Doligon. That three-point shot has been failing him here in the first quarter.
Yeah, it's been empty for Mark so far. He's got a couple tries already. But MJ, after not making any field goals in 6 attempts from the previous game, knocks down a 3.
3 of those coming from the outside in that game against Quezon. MJ De La Virgen only making his points from the free throw line
All right.
in their first game.
And that's tough. Alam mo naman si MJ, kumukumpiyansa yan pagka may field goals. You know? And so getting those points from the free throw, medyo nag-struggle talaga on the field.
3-on-3 break. De La Virgen
There you
stop
go.
and pop. One of the streakiest shooters of Batangas City. MJ De La Virgen, the former JRU heavy bomber, knocking down shots early here para sa kanyang kupunan.
Well, at some point, the bleeding has to stop. I mean, you're down 16-2, and Coach Britt says, we got to talk till it's over, guys. This is not the start that we want.
4 minutes and 27 still to play in the first quarter. Batangas City off to a spectacular start.
Para sa 100% pag-unlad, 50 si Manny. Para sa 100% pagbabago, 50 si Manny. Para sa 100% paglilingkod, 50 si Manny. Kanipagya. Para sa 100% Pinas, 50 ka.
50 tayo! 50 si Emmy! Kahati mo, si Manny!
Sed Ablaza, as we mentioned, only 6 points against the Quezon Huskers in their first game. 2 out of 7 from the field, but he did have 7 rebounds and a couple of assists, but had 3 turnovers sa laro na yon. More on Sed Ablaza from Islaira Punsalan.
Talking about game plan, ibinahagi kanina lamang ni Ablaza of Batangas and Dwyer Masters that they trained hard to face the Imus Brotherhood today, focusing on rotation, switching, and a lot of rectifying in their defense strategies. First time daw kasi nilang matalo ng ganon in their own home court against Quezon in their last game. But again, redemption is their goal today. Ablaza also reiterated that he's standing up to be the big brother and the leader ngayong araw na to to keep the team's high morale. Coach Mike and Javi?
Maraming salamat, Lyra. Well, certainly it's looking good para sa kanila so far. They're up 16-2 at this point. De La Virgen looking to extend that.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the third straight three of MJ De La Virgen.
And I'm sure he's not done yet. But you like that report because, you know, I think the first step really is acceptance that, you know, we didn't do real well in that game against Quezon. We're supposed to do a lot better. They're playing at home. As you see this setup right here on that kick out, paint touch, and a 3 on its way for MJ De La Virgen.
3 3-pointers, 9 points so far for MJ De La Virgen. 4 out of 6 for the Rum Masters here from beyond the arc, while Imus has yet to knock down anything from the outside. They've been scoreless in the last 3 minutes and 10+ minutes of this game. Coach Britre Roma finding solutions to the problems that have been hounding them so far here in the first quarter.
And you haven't had volume attempts actually from your scorers in Caspe and JV De La Cruz, both still just having 1 attempt so far. And you like to think that you know, you gotta try shooting some more because you are the primary guys when it comes to scoring for Imus.
Reggie Boy Basibas fouling Dexter Apinan on that drive to the baseline.
Holding foul on number 10, Reggie Boy Basibas. His first.
Levy Hernandez set to make his first appearance this season for the Batangas City Tanduay Rum Masters. Mark Cruz as well coming off the bench. We'd like to thank LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL. It's a baseline throw-in for the black shirts. Ablaza wearing number 53 this season. Levy for 3. Yes, sir. Wasted no time
Oo.
to get his first points of the season.
May mga bagay kang namimiss talaga at isa na yan kung ikaw ay fan ng Batangas at kung ikaw si Coach Cholo. I mean, seeing Sniper de Mexico making shots from the outside was something, a sight that I really hope was there in that game against Quezon.
Rick Kaunan bottled up in that baseline and he turns it over.
Somehow you don't like, I don't like the energy of Imus right now. This is totally different from how they played against Mindoro and against Pampanga. I mean, a strong start would do them good, and this is so far what we're seeing from Levy.
Hernandez making his first basket of the season after serving his 1-game suspension from a disqualifying foul in last season's playoffs. Field goal story on your screens, 1 out of 8 para sa Imus. Batangas is 7 out of 11. That's 12% compared to 63%. Belencion, no 3 available. Basibas has Ochea on him.
Yep.
Ochea picks his pocket and Don will go freely to the hoop.
And of course, Don, when you talk about Don Ochea, just like King Importante, you think defense, no? And if you're gonna spin, turn your back on Don Ochea on a handle action, most probably he's gonna steal that rock from you.
Corner option in the triangle offense here para sa Imus Brotherhood. And finally, a score there. That's Errol Soriano.
Yeah, and I like that you mentioned about the triangle offense. We've seen that, especially doon sa unang game nila against Mindoro. They've been trying to execute that triangle offense set, pero hindi tumutuloy. This time around, medyo maganda ang pagkaka-execute.
Madalas napupunta parati sa breakdown. First pass pa lang.
Correct. I mean, yung solo ba na binibreakdown ng handler yung primary defender, tapos hindi naman nabibit ka agad, diba?
Mark Cruz drawing another foul here on the Imus defense. Riesei Koga.
Yeah.
Mabuhay ang bagong kasal. Congratulations to Riesei Koga. Just got married, I think last week or a few days ago.
Well,
So happy to be seeing him back here on the floor, but this time for a different squad. The Imus Brotherhood is his new home this season after spending time with Caloocan last year.
well, of course, you know, there's that Sanbeda connection between Coach Britre Ruma and Ryusei Koga, both coming off the Red Lions then. And yan ang kailangan rin nila ngayon sa point guard. Si Ryusei Koga, he can push the pace just like we're seeing right now.
JP Belencion missing from the outside. Kaunan grabs the offensive rebound. Koga calls out another play. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Basibas got that screen. Koga trying to drive past Ambuluto using the speed advantage there was Ryusei Koga.
soon as he got the switch, alam na niya, he wanted that clear out. Stay out of the post, keep that post open so I can dribble penetrate inside and test the quick defense of John Amboluto.
Well, he certainly is going to be a big boost para dito sa kanilang koponan moving forward. Dito si Ryusei Koga. Because we've been talking about the help that's been needed by Caspe, De La Cruz, and Doligon. It's
Right.
always been these three guys the past 2 games. Basibas also has his moments, but outside of them, wala ka nang maasahan.
Well, you can count in si Kent Ariar then,
Yes.
who was solid in the last game. But the other guys gotta help out. Hindi pwedeng yung first solid 5 mo lang. People from the bench gotta help out the brotherhood team if they wanna come up with their second win here in 3 outings.
They're down by 20 here. Cruz kick out. Philip Panyamogan, first appearance in this game. First shot is way off the mark.
And somehow you feel with Ryusei Koga being inserted back, nakikita mo yung movement medyo sharper na now for Imus. Kanina, they were parang where do we go? Where's the point of attack? Who's gonna organize? Right now, it's pretty much directed and intentional with Ryusei on the floor.
Belenson has Soriano at the corner. Errol will attack the defense of Panyamogan and he draws the foul.
Fist up in the air, that's called a foul.
Panyamogan trying to argue that the buzzer already sounded when the whistle was blown. But no, our referee is stating that it is a foul on Philip Panyamogan. Referee Afea Maronilla calling that from the sideline. It's 26-6. Fresh 14 on the shot clock for the White Shirts. Koga met by the defense of Mark Cruz. Koga rises up for a shot. No. Oh, and another offensive rebound. Belenson, three-pointer on the way. Rattles it home.
I like that JP immediately took off with that shot. Not waiting for any defense to recover. Your freest on the catch.
Offensive foul on John Amboluto as he tried to set the screen on the handoff para kay Philip Panyamogan. Take a look at that. Enrique Caunan once again keeping it alive. That's his third rebound in the game, all on the offensive glass. Spraying it out to JP Belenson, who rattles home a three-point shot.
Iba rin talaga offensive rebound kick out mo sa 3, no?
And they say one of the hardest shots to guard.
Right?
Belenson, this time that's not from an offensive rebound but from a pull-up. That one was short. Panyamogan, parang winasiwas lang yung depensa ni Ryusei Koga.
And that's why they got Philip. I mean, he's a guy that's a... Ooh! That's that gonna count?
Well. Iba nga naman ang swerte ng bagong kasal.
Naman talaga naman.
Well, our referees will be checking if that shot will count. Big shots back-to-back as we end the quarter. The Imus Brotherhood off to a very slow start, but as soon as Ryusei Koga came in, the complexion of the game seemed different para sa kanila.
That one not count.
Could have been big if it counted. But as we look at it here, Koga certainly still had the ball in his hands.
Well, Mom Ivy could have been proud if that shot got counted.
They're still down by 20 points here, talking about the Imus Brotherhood. Batangas City was off to a strong start. We've already been talking about it. Redemption is the theme of the game para sa kanila sa laro na to.
Yeah, and you love that 60% shooting from 3. Very unlike the Batangas from Masters. They are primarily a perimeter shooting team, but you love seeing those threes falling for Coach Cholo and the guys.
Again, the score at the end of 1, 29-9.
Para sa 100%'ong pag-unlad,
15 si Manny,
para sa 100%'ong pagbabago,
15 si Manny,
para sa 100%'ong paglilingkod,
15 si Manny,
Manny Pacquiao. Para sa 100%'ong Pinas,
50 ka, 50 tayo, 50 si MB, kahati mo si Manny.
Back inside the Caloocan Sports Complex, the second quarter of the game between the Imus Brotherhood and the Batangas City Tanduay Rum Masters now unfolding. Levi Hernandez back like he never left.
He knew that there was going to be a long closeout. After all, 10 of their attempts from 3 points, 6 of them having to go in. And so expected mo na aggressive long closeout kagad yun.
Belenson could not answer with a 3 of his own. Panyamogan grabs the board. 1 out of 8 from the outside ng Imus in that first quarter, while itong Batangas City, they were 6 out of 10.
Now this is very interesting in Batangas. We talked about them primarily being a perimeter team, but almost 60% of their shot attempts have really come from the outside, and it's been very intentional. As soon as they get an opportunity to score there, they were going to try it.
Baloria still tying his shoes up. Ambaluto waiting for him to finish. Jong now has the basketball, blocked there by Reggie Boy Basibas.
That I think is the best misdirection. Nagsisintas ka, tapos lumalapit na yung ball siya, bigla ka bumabangon.
Ginawa mo ba yun ever?
Ay, hindi.
Pag nagsisintas ka talaga.
Oo, sisintas talaga. Lumalabas pa ako eh. Out of bounds para...
Hernandez steps back for a 3. Could have been 3 straight to start the game for Levi Hernandez. Amboluto carving space inside.
Well, John Amboluto, you know, he's just been super valuable for Coach Cholo. Nakita natin yung halaga niyan during the playoffs. Ano? I mean, he was battling it out. Lalo na in the, what series was that? Na talagang siya yung tumatrabaho sa ilalim eh.
Batangas is 7 points away from matching their total in that game against Quezon. They only scored 40 in that game, their season opener on their home floor, by the way. And here you see John Amboluto going for points 32 and 33 para sa kanyang kupunan.
They had 27 attempts from 3 and made 5 of them in that game. And right now, talagang mukhang gusto rin talaga nila makascore na sa 3.
Amboluto running the floor, but taking 1 step too many there. Could have been a good pass coming from Philip Panyamogan.
Pero sigurado ako kahit na nag-traveling din si John, natutuwa pa rin niya si Coach Cholo because a big man running the floor, outrunning even your guards, shows you, you know, effort on the side of John Amboluto.
JJ Caspe comes back into the game para kay Ryusei Koga. Some quality minutes off the bench para kay Ryusei Koga. Caspe spots for 3, overshoots the mark. Tumatakbo na naman dito ang Batangas City. Panyamogan against Doligon. Panyamogan draws contact, no whistle blown. Ball up in the air. Kaunan grabs it. Mark Doligon going downhill. Mark Doligon, left hand finish. Wala, it rims out, but he draws the foul. He will go to the line for 2 shots.
You like that of Mark, you know. He's always on his heels, trying to attack. If he doesn't have any, then he's gonna pass it off to teammates who are in a better position. Tsaka gusto mo yung energy talaga nito ni Mark.
Yeah, rather than have him setting for outside shots, you would love him attacking the rim more. This free throw brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kumpletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. Let's go to Ms. Lyra Punzalan at courtside for a report.
Better transition in defense is the key focus para kay Coach Brit Roma of Imus Brotherhood, and although their team's performance kind of proves otherwise, and the team's chemistry has been kind of low with a score of 33-12, they're still very much hopeful to be up and running para makabawi pa for the next quarters of the game. It was such a close fight against the Pampanga Giant Lanterns daw last time, kaya talaga namang the team is feeling pressure daw to keep the momentum high, but still very much hopeful to be able to get back on their groove and score better. Back to you, Coach Mike and Javi.
Maraming salamat, Lyra. Well, they certainly had their morals very high in that game against Pampanga because they had a chance hanggang sa dulo. But they did not win any quarter in that game. Well, except for the third. They won by 2, 24-22.
That's right. And so, kailangan talaga maging consistent ka eh. And the difference, I guess, from the first game to that one, yung first game nila against Mindoro, strong finish eh.
Yes.
Dito sa Pampanga, parang nawala yung identity nilang strong finisher. And right now, if you're gonna carry over that performance in the fourth quarter to how we're seeing them now, medyo slow start. And so, a series of quarters, a little bit slow for Coach Brit and the Brotherhood team. You gotta make it up in the second half.
Still down big time at this point, 35-12, as we take a look at this assist of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
There's always that weak side cut when that ball is on the post. You know, very clear path right there on that finish.
Chris Porter has checked into the game for Coach Cholo Villanueva. Elevator screen for Jong Baloria. That one is taken away by JV De La Cruz, who leaves it for JJ Caspe.
Well, unforced error right there, if you ask me. Just a very easy pass intended for Jong Baloria coming out of that elevator action.
35-14. Baloria could not extend it further. Caspe gets a drag screen from Ariar. Kint now has it. Quick jumper against Porter. That's short. Doligon tracks it down. Doligon sidestep. Draws contact. Babalik siya sa ating free throw line for 2 shots.
Agresibo si Mark. And he's the one always setting the tone for the most part para dito sa Imus Brotherhood.
Now, this was the steal earlier. De La Cruz sees a trailing JJ Caspe on the break, leaving it for his backcourt buddy. From Mindoro to Imus, these two guys playing beautiful music together.
Much as we say that Mark Doligon, sa malayo, pag tingnan mo pag naglalaro parang si Draymond Green. Remember we talked about this?
We'd like to thank LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL. Yeah, well, he does really look have a may hawig.
May hawig di ba? There's some semblance of Draymond Green. Pero when you look at Caspe, parang mini Scotty Thompson naman daw. Tingnan mo, the way he plays, di ba? The way he carries himself on the floor. I mean, look at him.
And he also has a penchant for grabbing rebounds.
Right, exactly. Points, rebounds, and assists.
Caspe almost walked. Ariar, 18-footer. That's long. Here you go, JJ Caspe. Keeping it alive there para sa Imus, and he was fouled there. Right on cue, JJ Caspe channeling his inner Scotty Thompson with that offensive rebound.
And when you've got a guard, not so tall, pero got a penchant for rebounds, you know you have something really special.
Caspe is averaging 6.5 rebounds per contest so far in his 2 games this season for Imus. De La Cruz gets the handoff.
Yeah.
De La Cruz gets it from the outside.
Ganda talaga ng kombinasyon rin ni Caspe at saka ni JJ De La Cruz.
Baloria couldn't take it back. Now the Brotherhood on the verge of a mini run here. Caspe hooks a pass to Ariar. Acuno gathers. Finger roll, no good. Gets his own miss. Second serving, wala. On the counter attack here, Batangas City. Hernandez for 3. That's short.
And that shot looked good, but just couldn't make it fall.
Caspe had Porter in front of him. Ariar now has it. Nobody on JJ Caspe. Long on the 3. Good box out by Chris Porter. Isit
Nice pass.
shovels a pass to Levy Hernandez, but Hernandez could not finish. That one was short. Doligon spinning into Chris Porter. Hindi niya pipilitin yon. JV De La Cruz, 3 on the way. Baloria gets the rebound. Both teams
Right,
shooting blanks.
right. Quite a long rally here without anyone puncturing the hoop.
35-19. Past the halfway point of quarter number 2. Hernandez off the pin down. Levy could not shoot. And he falls down holding on to his right leg.
Yeah, on his ankle.
His 3-point shot brought to you by Extreme One-Stop Shop Appliances. JV De La Cruz had in the face and no problem.
Keeping a hold on that follow-through also. Ganda ng release.
Only the second 3-point shot of the game para sa Imus. De La Cruz will through to the free throw line as Batangas has already entered the penalty situation here with still 4 minutes and 27 to go.
Yeah. And so far, Batangas from the 3-point make in this quarter, they've been 0 out of 4 after starting off with 6 out of 10.
There was the foul against Jong Baloria. 2 out of 2 para kay JV De La Cruz. And Coach Cholo Villanueva has seen enough. He will sue for time here. His squad only up by just 14 points now after a high of 23.
Para sa 100%'ong pag-unlad, 50 si Manny. Para sa 100%'ong pagbabago, 50 si Manny. Para sa 100%'ong paglilingkod, 50 si Manny. Para sa 100%'ong Pinas,
50 tayo! 50 si MB! Kahati mo, si Manny!
JV De La Cruz against the defending champion Pampanga Giant Lanterns had 15 points, 10 of them coming in the second half, built on 6 out of 14 shooting, including 6 rebounds plus 5 assists.
And you know, whenever JV starts scoring and producing those stats, you know, maganda yung nagiging run para dito sa Imus Brotherhood. And he's half of the dynamic duo of the Brotherhood, the other one being, of course, JJ Caspe.
12 points per game so far this season para kay JV De La Cruz, former Mindoro Tamarao, along with JJ Caspe. His team right now down by just 14 points after being down by as much as 23 here against Batangas City.
Right. And the Brotherhood going on their biggest run so far and, with 9 points.
Kenneth Ighalo, unang pasok sa laro na to para kay Coach Cholo Villanueva. Mintis agad galing sa labas. Porter, cross court to Kenneth. Ighalo this time attacking. Had that ball strip, gets it back. Ighalo blocked up top.
And Kenneth Ighalo still, you know, trying to find his place here in the Rum Masters.
Drop off. Oh, muffed there by Quint Ariar.
Lapit na nun.
Botched opportunity. That was a nice pass galing kay Raymar Cacuno.
Right.
At Quint Ariar, after that shot, got hit.
Yeah, inadvertently after Dexter Apinan was trying to secure the ball. Biglang napalapit sa kanya si Quint Ariar, tinamaan sa mukha.
Our game officials will be reviewing that last sequence to see if there should be any unsportsmanlike fouls called. This was the last play. Ariar there missing the gimme. And then as he tried to contest for that loose ball, ayun, nasapok siya ni Dexter Apinan sa pool.
Yeah. Kaya mahirap talaga pag if your head is leaning forward, no? If
Towards
your
the ball,
yeah,
right?
Towards the ball, right. Sinasabi na nila you're literally out of control if your chin is ahead of your toes. Talagang pababa kasi yung momentum mo.
And there's a blood below the nose of Quint Ariar. They're trying to attend to that. No, I think
Nakagat yata o tinamaan yung labi.
sa labi,
Yeah, sa
oh.
labi, right. And then the thing is, if you look at the numbers right now, it's only what 6 points here para sa Batangas. This is, I mean, a cause of concern if I were Coach Cholo, because in that game against Quezon, they scored only 10 points in the second, then another 9 points in the third quarter. So this would be the second game in succession that they're scoring pretty low in the second, and you know Coach Cholo is more than aware of that, and I'm sure that they're gonna address that. But what you like also about Coach Cholo in that game? Sure, they lost out, but he stays even killer, no? Not too high, not too low. It's just a very composed coach.
And you just also saw Coach Britre Roma on your screens, assuming the head coaching position sa laro na to para sa Imus Brotherhood after different guys took the interim head coaching spot para sa Imus Brotherhood in their first 2 games. What was the call?
Was that unsportsmanlike? I thought I heard unspo. And Coach Cholo can't believe it because that sure looked like inadvertent.
So it is an unsportsmanlike foul against Dexter Apinan. And this really happens, you know, even if di mo naman sinasadya. Pero kung yung action patama dun sa opposing player,
Yeah.
somehow, some way, our referees will find cause for you
Yeah.
to get a non-sportsmanlike foul.
Ang interpretation ko pa nga dyan is he was about to signal na it's their ball with his left hand. Kaya lang parating si Kent Ariar, hindi rin niya nakita.
Edok Doroteo coming in off the bench to shoot free throws in place of Quintariar. Doroteo knocks down both. This is just the 12-point lead they're staring at.
That's right.
Itong Imus Brotherhood. We still have a lot of time to play here in the first half. 3 minutes and 45 to go in the second quarter. Ighalo. Balik kay Porter. De La Virgen has Belenson in front of him. They go cross court. Ighalo back to MJ. De La Virgen. One dribble. Pull up from 3. Ooh. De La Cruz caught a little bit of the arm nito ni MJ De La Virgen.
So far, ang nanonotice mo dito sa depensa ng Imus Brotherhood, they're preventing paint touches para dito sa Batangas. They couldn't get paint. And so they're left with moving the ball around in the perimeter. They can't knock down shots from the outside. And so that drought, thankfully for them, MJ got fouled.
De La Virgen makes the first free throw. I was about to say that he hasn't missed this afternoon.
Well, he saved you from...
That's his first miss the entire game. He hasn't missed from the field though.
Yeah.
Batangas is 3 out of 4 from the free throw line in this game. De La Virgen goes 2 out of 3. Makes it a 14-point lead, 37-23. Jedong walks it up para sa Imus. He has Acuno, Doroteo, De La Cruz, and Belenson to work with. Doroteo slips the screen. Doroteo from the elbow. Quick 4 points for Edok Doroteo off the bench.
Yeah, I love that action. High stagger, then side stagger to set up the corner guy. And eventually, the guy that flashed in the middle made that shot.
De La Virgen on top. Gets a screen from Apinan. Porter relocates to the top. Porter cannot hit from the outside. Ochea got to bounce it off. Raymark Acuno. It will stay with Batangas City.
And somehow Batangas having a problem breaking that shell of Imus Brotherhood. It's a tough nut to crack to try and get inside the paint. And I guess that's one thing that's missing as well from Batangas, getting that paint touch. So far, dito sa second quarter, that's not we're not seeing from them.
Baseline throw in. De La Virgen triggers in to Apinan. De La Virgen meets the basketball. He has Ong on his backside. Ball is loose. It will go the side of Imus.
One of the few times that we've seen in a very long while that they got that ball inside the paint, pero nag-converge naman yung depensa doon. So MJ lost that rock.
Same play here for the Brotherhood.
Yeah, same play, that's right.
Jedong looking at JV De La Cruz. Gets it to him. Doroteo sets the screen. Doroteo gets it inside to Acuno.
Good decision there by Doroteo. This time around, they tried to twist it. This time, shots was on the other side, other elbow. But really a misdirect and a good find inside for Acuno.
37-27. Apinan dribbles it off his foot. Apinan recovers it. De La Virgen cuts. MJ out to Ablaza. Ighalo free for 3. Ken Ighalo long on the outside shot. Look at Doroteo getting the possession there for Imus. Jed Ong has Ighalo in front of him. Ong out to Belenson. Quickly to Doroteo. Wow! The Imus Brotherhood.
Now, this is a 13-point run here. Biggest so far para dito sa Imus Brotherhood this game.
They've trimmed it to just single digits here. An 8-point lead para sa Batangas City. Ablaza restores order for the Ramasters.
Boy, did they need that paint touch and that basket from said Ablaza.
Coach Britre Roma Now his turn to call a timeout. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the display of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. We'll be taking a short break, 1:26 to go here in the first half.
Manny Pacquiao 50 tayo. Para sa 100%'ong pag-unlad 50 si Manny. Para sa 100%'ong pagbabago 50 si Manny. Para sa 100%'ong paglilingkod 50 si Manny Pacquiao. Para sa 100%'ong Pinas 50 ka.
50 tayo! 50 si MB! Kahati mo, si Manny!
Babalik ang Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League, ang liga ng bawat Pilipino. We are live from the Caloocan Sports Complex at mapapanood nyo ang liga ng bawat Pilipino on Facebook and on YouTube, as well as on Solar Sports on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays beginning at 6 o'clock p.m. By the way, Solar Sports is available on Digital Free TV Channel 21 in Mega Manila, Sky Cable Channel 70, and Cable Link Channel 58. Abby Palani here, joined by Coach Mike Perez. Miss Lyra Punzalan is at courtside. The Imus Brotherhood trying to chip away at this 10-point lead. Off the timeout, they knock down a three-pointer. That's JP Belenchon getting it from the left flank. 39-32.
Third three-pointer of the game for Imus Brotherhood. Good cut.
Apinan could not get the basket. Doroteo forward to Belenchon. Belenchon, another three on the way. JP Belenchon is smoking hot. 39-35. 9 points in the game for the former Letran Knight. De La Virgen gets it to go.
A faster exchange here between these two teams, and Batangas waking up. At least maganda yung nagiging production ng Batangas dito. How about JP Belenchon with those knockdown threes?
About a 5-second differential between the shot clock and game clock. Koga comes out. Belenchon off the elevator. Moving screen.
Right.
Galing kay, was it Raymark Acuno?
I think it's on Raymark, right? He was the first one to move in that elevator action.
Coach Zola Villanueva will take advantage of his timeout here with 13.9 seconds remaining, possibly to map out the final shot of the quarter. But let's look at that last shot by JP Belenchon. 2 straight three-pointers actually para sa kanya. That was one from the left wing, and this one was in transition. JP Belenchon now leading the Imus Brotherhood in scoring with 3 threes so far this afternoon.
Manny Pacquiao 50 tayo. Para sa 100%'ong pag-unlad 50 si Manny. Para sa 100%'ong pagbabago 50 si Manny. Para sa 100%'ong paglilingkod 50 si Manny Pacquiao. Para sa 100%'ong Pinas 50 ka.
50 tayo! 50 si MB! Kahati mo, si Manny!
The Caloocan Sports Complex is the venue for our Tuesday triple header dito sa Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. JP Belenchon with 9 points so far this afternoon on 3 3-point shots. 3 out of 7 from the outside. 6 seconds to go here for Batangas City. Levy Hernandez trying to bounce a pass to Seda Blaza. Defense has been on point here in the second quarter for the Imus Brotherhood, Coach Mike.
Yeah, agree. And they forced a total of 7 turnovers already dito sa Batangas, and the body language looking really good for the Imus Brotherhood.
And they throw it away. The heave, no good. but still gallant stand on the last few possessions of the quarter for the Imus Brotherhood. They were down by as much as 23 points in this game, Coach Mike.
And the one that gave the lead to Batangas in the first quarter were really the made threes. And so after those 6 made three-pointers, they've been 0 out of 8 in the second quarter. And the smoke really just turned away of Imus knocking down those shots from the outside.
Batangas City only up by 6 points at the end of the first half, 41-35. We'll be back for your halftime analysis.
Lagi mong siguradong patas. Lagi mong inuuna kung anong dapat. Hindi mo kayang malunok ang katotohanang marami pa rin tayong kababayang gutom at walang tahanan. Kaya hindi ka tumigil sa paglaban. Harapin ang kahirapan. Tulungan ang nangangailangan. Basagin ang korupsyon na kanilang nakasanayan. Sa loob at labas, man ng Pinas, bakas na bakas ang iyong tapang puksain ang mga problema ng bansa. Gamit ang lakas, gamit ang isip, gamit ang puso. Kung para sa mamamayang Pilipino, si MP, wala yang sinisino. Manny Pacquiao.
You are still tuned in Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. This is Lara Punsalan, and our halftime score is 41-35. 6 points to go for Imus Brotherhood. And we are here with Coach TJ, the assistant team manager of Imus Brotherhood. Coach, what were the challenges so far during the first quarter that the team faced?
Challenges na team is yung switching actually. So, medyo mabagal yung pag-switch namin sa mga player ng first quarter. So, yun ang naging kailangan pag-usapan sa dapat.
Okay, given that there was a few offensive rebounds na very much effective nung second quarter naman, how do you plan to keep on scoring higher for the next half?
Actually, defense. We have to defend to score. So if we don't defend, mahirap ang offense. Yun naman ang goal namin. We need to stop para sa offense. And we never think naman yung offense. It's always defense, rebound, find the right person, open the ball, so that we can beat the Batangas hopefully by the end of the game.
May mga gusto po ba kayong pasalamatan?
Teka, sinulog ko na. Pinabati ko lang yung Gentry Height, si Skin Sir Noel, thank you. Parsive Errol, Elastic Adventure kay Ma'am Ruby the owner, Yang Skibel and Grandpa Joe kay Sir Benedict. And one last, happy birthday kay Christine Karandang. Yun, thank you.
And that has been Coach TJ Marquez. Magbabalik po ang Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League.
At the half between the Batangas City Tanduay Masters and the Imus Brotherhood, the score is 41-35. We are live from the Caloocan Sports reported that Coach Britt wanted better transition and more defense from his squad in the second quarter. Nakita mo ba yun sa kanila, Coach?
Yeah, definitely. And nakita mo yung better execution din. At yung kumpiyansa, yung energy na nakita mo dito sa Imus kakaiba in the second quarter.
JP Belenchon leading the way for the Brotherhood. 9 points off the bench built on 3 3-pointers. Edok Doroteo coming in off the bench with 6 points as well. Sa kabila naman, it's MJ De La Virgen leading the way with 13 points. The only guy in double figures so far sa laro na to. Cedar Plaza has 8. Levy Hernandez in his return has 5. Mark Cruz has 4 for the Batangas City Tanduay Masters.
And when you have Ced and Levy going cold in one full quarter, I mean, to me that's a cause of concern because normally ito mga fluid players sila di ba? And so they get a lot of touches and a lot of attempts. Pero you have to give credit to the shell defense of Imus Brotherhood. They really just prevented any Batangas master from getting in the paint in the second quarter.
You just caught a glimpse of Ryusei Koga, who is making his season debut here in this game for the Imus Brotherhood after getting married recently. Congratulations once again to Ryusei. How has he impacted the game off the bench? Nung pagpasok niya, Coach, sa second quarter, nag-iba yung complexion ng laro para sa Imus.
Agree. Kitang-kita mo kagad yun pagbalik ni pagpasok ni Ryusei Koga. Parang naging mas intentional sila na alam na nila na okay, ito yung movement, ikaw ang point guard, this is my role, this is where I have to go. And they're faster on their feet. Just like this one, you see this here, mas maganda yung movement ng Imus Brotherhood.
But they turn the ball over. They start the third quarter with Belenchon, Ariar, Acuno, and De La Cruz joining Ryusei Koga. Ablaza, meanwhile, starting off things with Donachea, De La Virgen, Apinan, and O'Neal Arim. That shot from the outside sails out of bounds. Quickly, it goes the other way to Imus.
Kita mo yung katulad ng last na tira na yun, Seth was pretty much unchallenged. It was a good setup for a three-point shooter like Seth, but you know that shot didn't go.
And the drought from the outside continues para sa Batangas City. They have not yet made a three-point shot since the first quarter where they made 6. Koga has the rock. Acuno being guarded here by Ablaza. Acuno faces up. He can hit that, and he definitely does hit it near the free throw line. Raymark Acuno.
And the switches led to Ablaza checking on Raymark. And him being bigger and having that range. Pangalawa na niya sa labas actually ni Raymark. Kanina, the first quarter, sank one. Now to start the third.
They've really been milking him, patrolling that free throw line extended.
Agree. Not to create going downhill, but to take shots from that area.
Or sometimes to jump a pass at the last moment.
That's right.
And here he is again. This time he goes to the other side. De La Cruz nails the three-point shot.
And how much longer are you not gonna challenge those threes of Imus Brotherhood? Right now, they are 5 out of 17 from that area. So much better than how they started the game.
Down by just 1, but quickly Don Ochea wants to change the narrative right away here para sa Batangas City. Cedric Ablaza attacking the closeout and then dishing off to Don Ochea.
Yeah, I mentioned about this from yesterday's game. That corner basket cut really coming from the weak side. Talagang very potent no? You have everybody's backs turned on you. And so when you go in there, madalas libre ka and you catch the defense off guard.
It's just really a matter of timing.
Correct.
Ochea completes a three-point play and makes it a two-possession game right here para sa Batangas City. How will the Brotherhood respond? Belenchon, quick attack to the basket, making mincemeat of the defense of MJ De La Vergen.
Tsaka they've been running solo side, empty corner here for Imus. And JP Belenchon, that close, he's got that footwork to finish face up or posting up.
Seda Blaza, back pass to Jex Apinan, shot clock winding down. Apinan out to De La Virgen. De La Virgen jumps a pass to Ochea. That's swatted away by De La Cruz. At mapuputukan ng shot clock violation ang Batangas City.
Yup, and it's been tough to set up offensively para dito sa Batangas. You see right here, mismatch. He saw that, faced up and went baseline side with that corner empty.
That's our play of the game, brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. Riese Koga at the left corner. Koga airballs that three. Onilarim pushing it to Jexter Apinan. Ochea fakes the shot, left hand one, no good. On the other side, Koga pushes it to Belenchon. JP lets it fly from the outside.
wow.
Ariar keeps it alive. Kit Ariar trying to scramble for that loose ball together with two other black shirts. Ochea, no hesitation. Long on the three. Ball is up. And there's a foul called against an Imus player.
And when you look at the movement of the Rum Masters, their most free shots have been the threes. And so far, you know, hindi pa rin pumapasok yung mga attempt nila sa labas. And so, you try to beat the primary defender, but the thing is, palaging it's a challenge to beat the primary defender, let alone when help comes.
Hernandez wants it against De La Cruz. Levy goes up strong. He's fouled. Two shots coming up at the line for Sniper de Mexico, Levy Hernandez.
And that was a good find right there on a post-up against De La Cruz. Surely Levy has advantage on that side of the floor.
There you see Operation Said Emerson Oreta together with Security Chief, the Destroyer, Rudy Distrito, in attendance here at the Caloocan Sports Complex. This free throw of Levy Hernandez brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kumpletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas.
Boy, and JJ Caspe only played total of 8 minutes so far, and it only shows kung gaano kalaki yung naging contribution nito nila JB at saka ni Riusei Koga and even si Doligon, and you know, lumalim yung bench no?
This guy has really been at the forefront. Ito si JP Belenchon. Doligon trying to make something happen with a drive to the basket.
Yeah.
There's a foul laban kay Levy Hernandez, which he wants Coach Cholo Villanueva to challenge.
O kasi parang lumalabas, out of control si Mark Doligon doon eh. He was leaning his right shoulder as he was dribbling, going to the left side of the floor. And it sure looked that he lost his balance. That's what Levy was saying.
Imus looking to tie with a three here, or maybe get to within one.
Love
they go to
that set.
Belenchon. Belenchon almost got that to go.
Love that set. Little Iverson cut, ending up with a flare.
Hernandez working the two-man game with Seda Blaza. 3-second violation against Batangas City. I'm not sure who. Was it Seda Blaza or Jex Apinan?
I think one of the two. Because two guys camping inside there, no?
Coach Cholo Villanueva certainly doesn't look like a happy man on that Batangas City sideline.
Tsaka ang baba pa rin ang score na. They only have 4 points in this quarter, and we've gone past 4 minutes already.
Doligon trying to attack the defense of Ablaza. Crossover to the right. Doligon draws the foul, tries to go back. And Mark Doligon really relentless on the attacks here.
And it sure looks like man on man. They're just faster on their feet. Itong Imus, no? Offense and defense. I mean, it's always about chasing space on the floor. And defensively, nauna sa space on the defensive side itong Brotherhood. Offensively, nauna rin sa free space. Kaya parang it almost feels like Batangas is on catch-up mode, no? When you talk about moving their feet.
Doligon, I was about to say he's been making a living from the free throw line, but missed that free throw. He's now 4 out of 8 from the charity stripe. His team down by a bucket.
Well, on the good side, Javi, you've been saved twice. So. One by, was it MJ earlier?
Yeah, it was MJ. Kanina kasi di pa siya nagmimintis.
Oo nga.
A Brotherhood get another crack at it here. That was a quick turnover for Batangas City. They go into the triangle. Kaunan. Down low to Doligon. He has Ochea on him. They want to clear out. Mark. Sinatsaga ang depensa dito. There's a push.
Yep.
It's going to go against Batangas City. The physicality inside has really been at a high here in the third quarter.
Pero kita mo yung bola nasa poste na matik yan. You always go down and form like a zone because you don't want another paint touch inside and you're anticipating a swing on the weak side of the floor.
Sideline throw in, Basibas, quick trigger. That one's long. Ochea with a rebound. Levi Hernandez against JP Belenson. Those two guys very familiar with each other.
And JP wants a review, but I think that's a foul. Much as Levi was the one who initiated the contact, on his way up, I felt he hit the arm of Levi.
Well, there's no more chance for a challenge dahil binigay na yung bola. Levi Hernandez back at the free throw line where he has struggled here in the third quarter.
Feeling ko nakita rin ni Coach Britt. Hindi. Mukhang wala.
Hernandez, 6 points currently.
Oh,
Failing to increase the total on that free throw. But Enrique Kaunan will be called for a loose ball foul as he tried to track it down. Ang masama dyan, penalty na dito ang Imus with still 5 minutes to go here in the third quarter.
And, you know, relatively a good free throw shooting team itong Batangas. And so that might be one thing that Batangas can use to their advantage.
Mark Cruz is our guest at the charity stripe. Cruz sinks the first.
Eight of 10 shooting so far from the line para dito sa Batangas.
Mark Cruz only played close to 8 minutes in that game against Quezon. Did not score and he was a -5 against the Huskers.
Tsaka nung game na yun, I think there were only 3 players that had multiple field goal makes for Batangas. Imagine that. 3 players. There were what, 6 I think for Quezon in that game.
Turnover for Imus. Ochea ahead of the pack.
There you go.
Mark Doligon did not even bother to challenge. Brotherhood already in the penalty, as I mentioned. Doligon all the way to the cup. Gets the bounce on the finger roll.
The help and the rotation came in late. And Mark Doligon had that straight line drive in the middle.
7 points in the game for Mark Doligon. 49-45. Cruz short stab. That's good.
Mas magandang percentage ang pinapakita, at least for the last 2 to 3 possessions para dito sa Batangas. Medyo may energy ng konti nakikita.
Oh, JJ Caspe breaks away from the defense. That was quite a sloppy possession for Imus, but they salvage it with a basket.
And again, you're seeing faster on their feet action by the Brotherhood team, which is pretty much how they beat Mindoro as well.
It was around this time wherein they mounted that big run to help get control of that game.
Oh, nagsimula yung third quarter eh. Tapos tinapos lang nila nung fourth, lalo na yung sipag nila in the final 3 minutes or so, I think.
9 seconds on the shot clock here for the Rum Masters. They're up by 4. 51 to 47. Oh, nobody
wow.
marking Seda Blaza.
Well, everybody slipped towards Levy as he was going to the corner.
Basibas could not get it up close. Counter-attack here for the Rum Masters. Bounce pass to Ochea from Levy Hernandez.
Mas maganda ang energy ngayon nitong Batangas compared to earlier. And, you know, them moving so much better brings them really good production.
Check out this assist of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. Nobody on him. Sed Ablaza taking advantage of that and knocking down the 2 points inside his team. Back in control by 8, 55 to 47.
Manny Pacquiao 50 tayo. Para sa 100%'ong pag-unlad 50 si Manny. Para sa 100%'ong pagbabago 50 si Manny. Para sa 100%'ong paglilingkod 50 si Manny Pacquiao. Para sa 100%'ong Pinas 50 ka.
50 tayo. 50 si MB. Kahati mo, si Manny.
Nagbabalik po ang Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. Defensive effort is what the team lacked during the first quarter, as said by Coach Britt of Imus Brotherhood. Talagang his players lacked effort daw in keeping the ball, which easily favored the Batangas Tanduay Rum Masters an easy 29 points. But evidently, they're back on their groove with a score of 55-47 now. Nasabi rin ni Coach Britt na consistency na lang talaga ang kailangan nila and more offensive rebounds to take the leading score. Coach Mike and Javi?
Maraming salamat, Lyra. Well, let's see if they have what it takes to get back on track here in the third quarter. The Batangas City Tanduay Rum Masters are on a groove here so far after a sloppy start to this period.
Yeah, and mas maganda ang takbuhan nila ngayon. We talked about being quick itong Imus Brotherhood, pero maganda ang nagiging second wind ng Batangas ngayon. They continue to have this lead by 10.
Now, we've talked about constantly in this game, the theme for Batangas City this afternoon is redemption. After that really bad loss, that opener to the season that they had on their home floor against the Quezon Huskers. Is this what redemption looks like?
No, not really, not yet. I'm sure trying to catch a rhythm pa itong Batangas.
I'd like to thank LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL. Ablaza missing on that second free throw.
Yeah, and because you know na these are players that's well experienced, veterans in themselves. They know so much better na marami pang kailangang gawin for this season.
Valoria free for three.
Now, their movement, body language, shooting poise, so much like who they are.
That's their first three-point shot since the first quarter.
Right.
Once again, a miss for the Brotherhood. De La Virgen sees Valoria trailing the play. Valoria, another one to drop.
Yeah. So after missing 9 or 10 in a row, they make 2 quick ones, courtesy of Jong.
And this is a guy you want to get going. Ito si Jong Valoria. He too really struggled from the outside in that game against Quezon.
Right. Kasi si Jong Valoria is an energy guy. You always see him very feisty and all. And so if you don't see that body language on him, medyo that's tough. That's a cause for concern. And now that he's making shots, medyo nakikita mo yung energy nandun ulit. Even the way that he takes that shot and the confidence as he lifts for those.
2 straight three-point shots for Jong Valoria. That, by the way, were his first 2 baskets of this game. He only scored 4 points against Quezon, played over 23 minutes sa laro na yon. Take a look at the 3-point field goal story so far. 8 out of 22 for Batangas City. 2 here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
In the third quarter, rather. And itong Imus only shooting 5 out of 20.
Yeah, I think they started, what, 6 out of 6 ba? 4 out of 4, parang ganon. And then eventually ended the first quarter with 6 of 10. At least now they're 2 out of 2 here in the fourth quarter.
And the lead starting to balloon once again here para sa Batangas City. Seda Blaza in double figures with 10 points. He has a couple of rebounds. He's 4 out of 7 from the field.
And the fast breaks have really been helping out rin itong Batangas. No? That's where they're getting most of their points. Kasi sa half-court set, nauunahan sila ng, ng depensa ng Imus Brotherhood.
Sergina Labanza in the venue here. The team manager of the Batangas City Tanduay Rum Masters. 64 to 47. De La Cruz trying to end the drought here para sa kanilang kapunan. Belenson, he's gone quiet towards the latter part of this third quarter. Belenson this time puts the ball on the deck. Belenson sidestep. The shot is short. Doroteo forces it up against 3 dark shirts.
Sure looked like a travel on JP Belenson earlier.
CJ Iset will be called for the personal. And Doroteo will have a chance to get 2 points at the free throw line.
And Jexter Pinan back and giving enough rest for Seda Blaza.
Doroteo came in the second quarter for Kint Ariar, who went down with blood on his face. And he was able to knock down those 2 free throws, plus get a basket on the next 2 plays. That time goes 0 out of 2.
Right. Ang ano naman ngayon, medyo slow naman to score itong Imus Brotherhood. Another 20 plus point quarter here for Batangas after going only, what, 12 points in the second. Good skip.
Valoria, he's got the stroke here in the third quarter.
And if you're a Batangas fan, you're liking it. And it's something that you've missed a lot. Oh.
Well, that's something we certainly missed. Riusei Goga hitting outside shots. That's a big basket for the Imus Brotherhood with under a minute to play here. His team is down by 17 points.
Elevator.
They go to Cruz on the slip. Mark Cruz could not finish off the bank. Cruz second serving, wala pa rin. Doroteo gets it. De La Cruz leaves it for Belenson. JP has Valoria on him. There's a guy I wasn't able to get back down. I think that's Rick Kaunan.
Yeah, that's Rick Kaunan. Holding on to his face.
Must have been hit on the nose.
Yeah, earlier I think with the action with Mark Cruz getting a couple of offensive rebounds and a shot at them, most probably that's where that contact came.
I think there's also blood.
Yeah, medics are attending to him right now.
Coach Britre Roma right there on your screens. Rick Kaunan will have to go out. That's the second Imus player that's been hit in this game. Tingnan natin yung nangyari doon. Kaunan goes in from the outside and tries to challenge for that board. Natamaan siya.
Jexter Pinan ulit. Si Jexter again. Well, I guess both times inadvertent.
Yeah,
diba?
Definitely. I'm pretty sure naman there was no intent.
Oh, yeah.
But I think this time he won't be called for any unsportsmanlike foul. He already has one on that hit on Quintariar earlier. 15 seconds to shoot here for the Brotherhood. Goga gets it to Belenson. Belenson waits. Belenson shoots. Belenson could not score. And CJ Iset runs out of space there. Could not save it in time to a teammate. So now the Brotherhood will have the chance to write the final sentence of this third chapter. Casibas meets the basketball. Belencion
They're gonna clear him out.
against Levi Hernandez. Belencion to Koga. Get a 3 earlier. Ryusei Koga against CJ Isit. Belencion. It's no good. And Mark Cruz makes sure that there will be no extra possession para sa Imus Brotherhood. That's it for the third quarter. Strong start for Imus, slow start for Batangas, but the finish Sports Complex, our venue for our Tuesday triple header dito sa Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League, ang liga ng bawat Pilipino. This is our first stop this season here at Caloocan, the home court of your Caloocan Batang Kankalu. They will be facing the Mindoro Tamaraos later on at 8 o'clock p.m. But for now, the fourth quarter of this game between Imus and Batangas. Quarter scoring so far. Coach Mike, break this down for us.
Yeah, again, I was alluding to the plus 14 in terms of production nitong Batangas in the third quarter. Samantalang minus 11 naman compared to the second quarter na nagawa mga puntos ng Imus Brotherhood. And really just a stronger close to the third quarter para dito sa Batangas, predicated on made threes, which is very similar to how they started the first quarter on those 3 makes.
And now they continue to be aggressive. This time going inside is Levi Hernandez drawing the foul and getting the basket to go. Hernandez returning to the lineup after serving his 1-game suspension in that game against the Quezon Huskers last week. They sorely, badly missed him sa laro na yon, and I'm sure Coach Solo Villanueva is happy to have him back, but not so happy with him missing those free throws.
Oh yes, but at least they're up right now by 19. Pero totoo ka doon, to have back Levi Hernandez, isa sa mga main na piyesa yan ni Coach Cholo for his team. And he always looks to him on certain sets when they need sniping and they need dribble attacks outside of Seda Blaza and Jong Valoria.
There's going to be a challenge here. That last out of bounds play will be looked at by our officials. It's going to be a baseline throw-in. CJ Isit. Inbounds to Levy Hernandez. Almost a walk. It is a walk. He shuffled his pivot foot. That was very clear, even for the common eye.
Yeah. Na-tempt siya, masyado siyang libre. Na-tempt siya, kita niyo yung baseline libre. And so, lifted that pivot.
Wala pang isang minuto nakakalipas dito sa ating fourth quarter. Belencion will try to rekindle his fire from the outside, and he does so with that make from the right wing.
And Batangas extending that defense 3/4 of the way. But once that ball get past that first line of the pressure, JP just went in and took that shot and made it.
14 puntos sa laro na to para kay JP Belencion. That's a miss from Levy Hernandez. Good forward pass to Raymark Acuno, who leaves it for JV De La Cruz.
Oh, wow.
Turned out to be a good decision para sa Imus Brotherhood.
Yeah, 7 of 25 right now from 3. Itong Imus Brotherhood, and De La Cruz so far is 3 out of 6, and he's shooting really well from that area.
Belencion. Sorry, no, that's Valoria falling away. Hitting nothing on that shot. Jex Apinan is saying that it should be Batangas ball. Check out this pass. Koga goes forward to Raymark Acuno. He could have went for the shot.
Yeah. Pero kita niya kasi 4 yung parating na Tanduayra Masters players. And so you have to swing it over to the guy that's least guarded. That happens to be De La Cruz.
De La Cruz now with 11 points in this game. Koga goes for the 3-point shot. That would have been big. He tracks down his own miss. Second try, he misses 2 straight.
Couple of good-looking shots but couldn't make it fall.
13 ang lamang dito ng Batangas City. More than 2 minutes gone by in the fourth. Hernandez spins away, couldn't finish at the basket. Forward pass to Reggie Boy Basibas. Has Valoria in front of him. That's an easy finish. Humihingi pa nga ng foul. Ito si Reggie Boy Basibas.
Yeah, downhill, medyo may momentum na si Reggie Boy doon. And Jong is a little bit undersized to challenge that layup shot by Reggie.
Valoria attacks the closeout. Valoria off the bank and in.
And Jong Valoria, alam mo, babawi ka agad dyan pagka ganyan mga situation. Iskuran mo ako, babalikan rin kita. Ito naman, subukan mong sabayan.
71-58. Koga through 2 screens. They go to De La Cruz. 10 on the shot clock. Belencion breaks away. He has Apinan on him. Belencion, a series of moves. The handoff to De La Cruz doesn't materialize. 1 on the shot clock. He has to take it. Good line para kay JP Belencion, but way short.
Laking bagay ng fumble na yun sa situation na yun. Non-stymie yung opensa eh. Pero ito about this one. Really good look on that long closeout by De La Cruz, and Jong really just finished straight to the rack.
That's our play of the game, brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. Seda Blaza could not get more lead para sa Batangas City on that 3.
Blaza's gone cold for a while. Yung last yata na field goal niya is yung underneath, no? Yung inbounds pass ni MJ de la Vergen.
Yeah, after that, he hasn't been able to connect on a basket.
Right.
Isit gives up the foul on JJ Caspe. Doligon has returned into the game. Along with this guy, Caspe steps back, gets it to Mark. Doligon spins. Doligon hang time.
Oh, that's so offensive
foul.
Yeah. Yung kaliwa.
Hindi yan pinalampas ni referee Jojo Belnas. Apinan skips a pass inside to Ablaza. Jex gets it back. Ochea trying to go backdoor. That was picked off by the Imus defense. Doligon, nahawakan siya doon. Clearly a foul.
Medyo scramble ng konti yung depensa on that turnover. As they try to run the length of the floor, itong Imus Brotherhood.
Mark Doligon will take 2 shots at the free throw line. Let's go to Miss Naira Punzalan.
quick update on Enrique Caunan, who's now back to the benches. He is currently suffering bleeding from a little nose laceration that now needs stitching. Unfortunately, Enrique Caunan cannot play anymore for the next few minutes of the game. Talagang nag-iinit na nga ang laban going into the last quarter. Coach Mike and Javi?
Maraming salamat, Lyra. Mark Doligondo could not get the stroke from the free throw line. 0 out of 2. Two crucial misses, I must say, para sa Imus Brotherhood. Isit on the move. Ablaza will not force it. Ochea goes back door. Ablaza hands it off instead to CJ Isit. Floater is blocked, ends up in the hands of Sed. They get it to CJ Isit, who scores on the lay-in. 73 to 58. 15 points is the lead, and those turnovers certainly will not help the cause of the Imus Brotherhood.
Yeah, hanggang ngayon medyo walang makuha magandang momentum itong Imus Brotherhood, no? After that really good second quarter.
This is the assist of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. Isit quarterbacking here para sa Batangas City. Layup no good. De La Cruz pushing it. Koga out to the corner. Basibas, three-pointer. Wala. Brotherhood have really gone cold here.
Oo. Kanina sunod-sunod yung mga basket nila, no? And their body language and their movement looked really good, but now medyo struggle itong Brotherhood. O tulak.
And it seems there's a little bit of fatigue playing in also. Ochea will be called for his first personal.
Then you see Coach Cholo talagang no? Even kill talaga, no? Hindi mo malaman kung lamang sila o nalalamangan sila. Pareho lang eh.
He's not gonna flash a smile.
Yeah.
Whatever happens. I talked to him after that game against Quezon. I wanted to know his thoughts. And he said that, usually naman talaga at the start of the season, dyan naman talaga sila nangangapa as Mark Doligon scores inside. And this is the first time in, I think, 3 years or 2 years na walang preseason tournament.
Correct.
And doon sila usually kumukuha ng mga kailangan nilang i-adjust, ano pa yung kailangan nila i-work on.
Right.
So this was actually the first time that they played an official game. Even if they've been playing tune-ups, iba pa rin daw talaga yung official game.
Correct. Agree.
Mark Doligon there scoring para sa Imus Brotherhood. 13 ang inahabol nila dito. But they give it up. That's another turnover. Ablaza has Baloria on the right side. Sed Ablaza finishing through contact. And you were saying, Coach Mike, that Sed Ablaza had gone quiet here in the fourth quarter. Well, I think he's trying to get that fire back into him.
Well, we say that he's gone cold because he's gotten very few touches, no? But this time around, he got that touch. He was able to make that basket, and so far, he's 5 out of 9 from the field, which is still pretty much good. You're just so used to seeing him with the ball always, every time down offensively for Batangas.
I remember 3-4 years ago when I was covering Sed in a different league. Sed Ablaza was really the go-to guy of that squad. And when crunch time would come, he would almost always deliver. Fourth quarter would always be Sed Ablaza time.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that.
Correct. At huwag natin kalilimutan, nagkaroon ng, I think, certain parts of the season last year na late na nag-join si Sed ba? Parang ganun di ba? And so when he came back, they really felt his impact in the game. And him alongside MJ De La Virgen and Jong Baloria coming in full steam really brought them into the playoffs in the South.
And here he is again, Sed Ablaza, this time attacking from the corner and then spinning into a layup. Batangas City slowly putting this game away. This is vintage Cedric Ablaza.
That's right. Ced Ablaza right now giving the final touches for Batangas.
MJ De La Virgen, Sete Plaza, Levy Hernandez, all combining for 39 points ng Batangas City. 39 of the 78 sa laro na to.
At sigurado ako kung ikaw si Coach Cholo, matutuwa ka na yan. Tatlo na yan talagang nag-combine para dyan sa mga puntos na yan. Hindi pa nga natin na-mention si Jong Valoria dyan sa kombinasyon na yan. And yung mga piyesa talagang pinupuntahan ni Coach Cholo Villanueva, and each of those guys really stayed composed and well poised despite yung run nitong Imus Brotherhood in the second quarter.
And he reminded me that people are continue to say that they're old already, they need more youth. But he reminded me also that they were just a few possessions away from entering the national championship last year.
Correct.
With this lineup.
Agree. And if not for that really strong finish by Quezon, kasi ang ganda nung we were covering that game 1 in Quezon where Batangas won in their home floor, on the home floor of Quezon. Then we go to Batangas thinking that it's gonna be a done deal because it's the home floor advantage of Batangas, and they do really well in there. But Quezon really responded in a way that everyone said, this is a very determined Quezon Huskers team. Not to take anything away from Batangas, but that was a tough challenge. Lalo na with a series tied at 1-1. Imagine that Jason Opiso put back. I was covering that with Sidelf, and when you hear him say Jason Opiso, that really was how the best way to describe it. Everybody was shocked. I was shocked. He was shocked. And so he went that way when he called it, and rightfully so, because yung emotion ng Quezon, ang dami mga Huskers in that gym as well.
Sede Blaza sporting a new jersey number this season. 53 is actually the total of all his kids' ages.
Oh yeah.
He previously wore, I think 23 it was last year, if I'm not mistaken.
That's interesting, huh?
Drawing inspiration, of course, from his family, just like the many other players that we have here in this league.
So if I'm gonna follow his jersey number on my kids, I'm roughly about 80. Let's move on. Next play.
Okay, let's stop talking about age. 79-60. Everything looks like it will go the way of Batangas City, including that three-point shot by MJ De La Virgen. That's three-pointer number 10 of the Rum Masters in this game.
Right, and we're seeing Ablasa scoring a bunch of points here in the fourth quarter. But when things got really rough, MJ De La Virgen kept everybody together. He was unfazed. And he just kept his cool and poise and waited for that right moment for them to come back.
Well, aside from the fact that they've been able to make baskets here in this game, what was the main difference for Batangas City in this game compared to that game against the Huskers?
Well, I think now they're playing with a little bit more of a swag. Kung ika nga, di ba? Lalo na nung pumapasok na yung mga 3 points nila in the first quarter. And then a little lull in between, and Jong Valoria came back and hit those threes. Nakikita mo na, iba na yung kilos di ba? And so it rubbed off on everyone else. MJ De La Virgen, so Seda Plaza. Talagang kailangan lang nila ng break na makita mo, okay? We're finally puncturing the hoop again. Kasi ang hirap maglaro kaya ng binibigay mo energy mo, hindi mo nakikita pumapasok yung mga tira mo na very makeable.
And no matter how good of defense you play throughout the game, at the end of the day, basketball is still about making shots.
All right. Agree. Kahit anong ganda pa niya mga play at man and ball movement mo, I mean, it's all about making shots. And again, it goes back to poise and composure. Steady lang, masyado mataas, hindi nag-worry, mahaba pa naman yung laro.
Jong Valoria among 4 players in double figures in this game for Batangas City. Great bounce back para sa kanila after that horrendous game that they had against the Quezon Huskers, wherein they only scored 40 points the entire match.
I think ang mas concerning para sa akin doon is yung 20% field goal shooting. And that was pretty low. I mean, I don't think I ever recall of any game that they've had, you know, very few field goal makes in that low percentage.
Kasi yung attempts, coach, halos pareho lang naman
Oh,
eh.
yes. Yes.
60 plus yung parehong teams dun eh.
Yeah, kaya when I was watching that, they scored 10 in the second and 9 in the third. I said, wow, this is really tough. A tough game to score for Coach Cholo and the guys.
O'Neal Arim getting Batangas to 88 points right now, nearing 90. It's still a minute and 13 seconds to play in this game. JV De La Cruz from the outside. That's no good. Arial on the reverse. And these are mere garbage points.
Yeah.
Para sa Imus Brotherhood, they will have to go back to the drawing board after this one.
It's 2 in a row after winning over Mindoro on a very spirited win in Pangasinan. Lost to Pampanga in a close game. They lost in the fourth. And now they really just couldn't sustain it as Batangas came back stronger.
And you would have hoped that, you know, winning against Mindoro in your first game, especially for guys like JJ Caspe and JV De La Cruz playing against their former squads, you go up against the defending champions in your next game. You put up a good fight. You're hoping that this game against Batangas City would be a collective effort of the things that you built on in those last two games.
At saka, you know, regular season, you're gonna meet the top teams just once. And so, you always want to give your best. But the thing is, it has to be consistent through 4 quarters. Lalo na with a very experienced team like Batangas.
Doligon, his struggles continue at the free throw line. That's stolen by JV De La Cruz. Bounce pass, JJ Caspe. Now this is a guy who has struggled in this game. That's only his 6th point of the match.
Yeah. And I don't think he got enough touches, in my opinion, unlike in the previous games. He's only had 6 attempts. Make that 5 in when the game was going on earlier. Oh.
Dribbling violation against Chris Porter. Batangas will be going up against the Rizal Golden Coolers in their next game.
That one's something to watch out for.
JV De La Cruz right there with a fake and finish, while Imus will be facing the Zamboanga Sikat as O'Neal Arim gets another basket inside.
Napaka-importante makuha ng Batangas itong panalo na to and get a good momentum heading into that game against Rizal, because the way that Rizal's been playing, they're one of the top teams, and right now they're unbeaten up there in the ladder. And a good combination of players that play with a lot of pace and are very strong also in the paint.
Ayun ang magandang mix ng veterano at saka bata.
Correct.
And that's going to do it between Batangas City and Imus. The Rum Masters bouncing back after that horrible loss in their season opener against the Quezon Huskers, wherein they only scored 40 points. This afternoon, beating the Imus Brotherhood 90
kay God. And binabati ko yung una si Lucas, yung baby ko, yung mama ko, yung papa ko, yung kapatid ko, si Pauline, tsaka si Yana, tsaka lahat ng boss namin na sumusuporta sa Tanduay. Tsaka Delaverhen family, Olicia family, Javier family, mga tropa ko sa Green Park, mga tito, tita ko, tsaka yung iba, yun lang.
Our best player of the game is brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
Maraming salamat, Lyra. Congratulations to MJ De La Virgen and Batangas City for bouncing back in this game against the Imus Brotherhood. Up next, we have the defending champions, the Pampanga Giant Lanterns, going up against the Marikina Shoe Masters. Thank you so much for joining us. More MPBL action when we return.